Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the build video, and now I'll try to explain just about everything about this guitar that I did and what I worked on. I chose these two to work with because I thought it was a really good fit, especially right here. This is where I kind of matched them up to, I didn't really have to do a whole lot of work to get this to fit here. And the biggest difference for when I matched them together, the biggest thing that caused trouble was just this comfort carve area here in the Strat. So that I filled in. So let's take a look at what I did and why this was a really good choice to combine these two guitars. First of all, the reason that you usually have a double neck is to have two different types of guitars. Usually a 6-string or 12-string and a 12-string. I had a 6-string and a bass before. So the difference with these two is that they're the two most popular style of guitars, being a Strat and a Les Paul style. So you got two different sounds you can get out of this. You can kind of have like a guitar duel with yourself, doing this and then switching over there, things like that. But what did I do to get it to this level? Well, the first thing, obviously I matched them up, this area right here, I matched that, and I kind of drew where I wanted to cut them, but still be able to use this full pick guard. So I cut them, I glued them together, and there's 1, 2, 3 screws, and I might have some over here. I used sort of a deck screw that has like a Torx head, and it also has like a self-drilling tip. And I did pre-drill them, but the self-drilling tip kind of helps get it in there. So besides drilling, I have 3 screws. I put started with auto body Bondo first, and that's what I mostly used on the back here, because the Strat was a little bit different, a little bit fatter actually than the Les Paul Jr. So I just kind of filled that in, like ramped down to the Les Paul Jr. So that's mostly body filler. And then I switched to using wood filler because I did this inside, and the body filler really smells bad, and I don't really like the smell of it. The body filler just kind of stinks up the whole house. So when I got to this part in the front, I might have used some on this seam, a little bit of the body filler, but over here where there was the comfort carve, I definitely only used the wood filler, and I drilled a few holes in there so that I could have like it acts as like a key to hold the filler in place. So I filled that. I cut out a little piece of wood for this transition here. I glued that in place, but also I used a bamboo chopstick as a pin. I drilled through there and hammered that in. And then here I just did some sanding and a little bit of wood filler. I didn't try to, this guitar I bought for $20, the Les Paul Jr. $20, and it wasn't working when I got it because someone had strung it up backwards with this wraparound tailpiece. They had I'll share a picture of it, but it was in unplayable condition. So that was all dinged up too by me because I tried to make it like a relic guitar. So I didn't try to fill in all the dings and stuff like that. This Strat I found in the trash a few years ago. It was really kind of corroded, and I think the neck might not be that straight, so I might use this guitar as a slide guitar. But I had gotten it working, and I gave it to a guy that played guitar at my church, but then he didn't have an electric, so he had it for a few years, and he just recently he's been getting back into electric guitar, and he just recently bought a new Stratocaster, so he gave this back to me. And I had it for a little bit, and then I decided I'm going to do this with it. For the electronics, this is all stock, and this is a pick guard I got on Amazon, and I think it was a loaded pick guard, and it was about $40. It came with a back plate too, but I didn't use it. So I'd already had that on the black, this guitar when it was black, then I painted it gold, and then I decided to do this. So what I did for the electronics is I just disconnected this bottom bridge pickup on here because I don't really ever use that on the Strat. My favorite position is the fourth position where these two pickups are. But anyway, so that's disconnected, and I just ran, oh, I also drilled a hole between these two. I ran the wires from this pickup to the switch where this one would have been. Now I know that single coil and humbuckers usually have a different volume and tone pots, but that doesn't matter for what I'm doing. I'm just trying to use what I have here. Oops. I thought the volume was off. Anyway, so you can see the electronics are fairly quiet because I didn't even know it was on. But yeah, this is working out really well. It's just this is all pre-wired. All I had to do was wire to the output jack, to the grounds. There's a ground through here and a ground to the claw on the the tremolo, and I just wired this to this switch. It was very simple. You could do more complex things. You could even have a separate volume for this, but I don't. So to go over, let's go over how this works. It's just like a traditional Strat, except for this. These two are switched. Actually, this one's not used. So in the first position, it's just the humbucker. Just the humbucker, and it's got more output there. When you switch it to the second position, it's a little quieter, and then I also have this pickup. So here, the second position is this pickup and this pickup. Third position is just this pickup. So that's just picking up through there, but there's nothing on this one. And that's just the middle. The fourth is these two, like traditionally. And then the fifth is just this one. So, pretty simple wiring. And I think that's it, except for the paint job. I didn't talk about that. The paint job is Dupla color, and this one is Wimbledon white. This is the white that I use for Van Halen guitars, and I got the color for the Van Halen guitars from Johnny B Guitars, who has a YouTube channel. He had done all the research for colors, and so I got that, and I liked it for those Van Halen paint jobs. This one, you'll see well, you won't see, but there's no clear on this. I just used the paint, and the reason why, the paint doubled in price since the last paint job I did. So since this is a double-sized guitar, I just decided to get 2 cans of color rather than use clear. So it came out pretty well, pretty good, I think. You can see where the difference in thickness is right there. But other than that, the paint job came out really good, I think. It's pretty shiny. I got it pretty flat, except for, as I said, I didn't try to fill every dimple. And you can see the seam where the guitars are put together. Pretty much, you can see it. But I think it's pretty good for what I was working with and the amount of time that I put into it. I think that covered everything I did, and there's the heads. The one thing that I didn't really think about was the color of the neck until I went to put it on. I said, oh, that's black. I was thinking, I don't know, I wasn't thinking. So I don't know what I would have done. Like, they don't have to match, but I thought it might have been cool if this was white. I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Anyway, anything I didn't cover or any questions you might have if you're trying to put one of these together yourself, just put it down in the comments.